All right, so move on to the next segment. We're going to pivot over here to the world of boxing, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on the fight that has officially been announced at the welterweight division between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. So, the news actually broke today. It was announced by Ring Magazine. They tweeted on Twitter/X that Brian Norman Jr. will be defending his WBO welterweight championship against Devin Haney in November and Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, by the end of the year. So this event will be hosted by himself, His Excellence Turki Al-Sheikh, by the end of the year. This is a massive fight that will be taking place at the welterweight division between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. So I'll be sharing my thoughts on the news that broke out today and the next massive fight that we'll get at the welterweight division. So honestly, I think this is the biggest fight that can be made currently at the welterweight division right now. And the welterweight division, we're still trying to figure out how great this division could be. We just saw Jaron Ennis indicate that he's moving up. Ryan Garcia doesn't look like his normal self after losing shockingly to Rolly Romero. There's a lot of unanswered questions that need to be answered at this welterweight division right now. But I think this is the biggest fight between Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. And I got to give Devin Haney all the credit in the world. This is somebody, whether you like him, you hate him, he does want to fight the best. He never ducks the smoke. And that's what's defined Devin Haney this early in his boxing career, always wanting to fight the best of the best. And now he's looking to become a 3-division world champion in his boxing career. And if we get the Devin Haney of old, I will be the first to admit he did not look like his normal self after the Jose Ramirez fight, after the Ryan Garcia fight. Against Jose Ramirez, he was running around the boxing ring. I think he only landed 65 to 70 punches in that fight. He didn't fight in the normal slick style that we're used to seeing at Devin Haney. And PTSD is a real thing because Ryan Garcia gave it to Devin Haney. You could tell he did not look like his normal self against Jose Ramirez. But if we get the Devin Haney of old, I think this could be a really fun fight between himself and Brian Norman Jr. because Devin Haney is a tremendous fighter. He's got the great boxing IQ, slick boxing skills, has an effective jab. And Brian Norman Jr. is an explosive power puncher with counter-punching skills. Both of these fighters like to exchange punches in the pocket, fight coming forward. I think this would be an incredible fight. Plus, the build-up to the fight, the press conference would be fun, the trash-talking, the exchanges between the two respective fighters. And the exchanges between the fathers. Bill Haney and Brian Norman do great jobs promoting their sons. Their mouths can get them in trouble at times. But I do believe the trash talking would be great. The promotion would be great. And Bill Haney and Brian Norman have already been exchanging words over social media about this fight. Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. have been throwing jabs and throwing some shade at each other of this fight. I think this is a massive fight with a lot of storylines that we should follow heading into this fight. I wish it was earlier in the year, but I'll take it for November. I think that's a big fight that Turki Al-Sheikh and His Excellence will be providing us by the end of 2025 at this welterweight division. And something that I will say too is there are a lot of questions heading into this fight because Devin Haney, like I just said, is he going to be the Devin Haney of old? PTSD is a real thing in combat sports, guys, and Ryan Garcia did cheat, yes, but PEDs are not testing positive for 2 tests of that, 2 banned substances of that. You mean to tell me, as great as Devin Haney is, you cannot defend a signature check left hook over and over and over and over again that dropped him 3-4 times to the canvas in that fight? I'm just saying. You could tell he was very timid in the ring when he fought in New York a month or so ago against Jose Ramirez. When was the last time we've ever seen Devin Haney become a track star in the boxing ring? Only landing 65 to 70 punches in a duration of 12 rounds in a fight? That's not the Devin Haney that I know. So it's interesting because would Devin Haney run around the ring against Brian Norman Jr.? Would he be on his high horse? Would he be afraid? Will we see him box off the back foot? Or will we see the Devin Haney of old, fighting coming forward, fighting in the the orthodox stance, effective jab, landing the 1-2 combinations, winning the counterpunching battle, effective and polished footwork? These are the things I want to know. Plus, Brian Norman Jr., he is a big dog now at this welterweight division, and champions are coming and going. Once Jaron Ennis indicates that he is moving up, those titles will be vacant. So right now, you're looking at him and Mario Barrios as the only true world champions at this division right now, once Jaron Ennis moves up. So with Brian Norman Jr. having his first successful world title defense, or 2 successful world title defenses now under his belt, especially the show that he put on a few weeks ago in Japan. Crazy that he sent that man to the hospital after that knockout, and put him on a stretcher. But I want to see how he would perform against a former undisputed champion, Devin Haney. He's a 2-division world champion. I would like to see this because this is a step up in competition. He wanted the Jaron Ennis fight, but Jaron Ennis, and he needs to move up to 154. I don't think he's ducking Brian Norman. I think his body just can't take the weight cuts anymore. He looks as skinny as a pencil when he has to cut down to 147. But I think Brian Norman Jr., this is a great test to see how great he is. And if he can pull off a win against Devin Haney, a former top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, some people still believe he is. I don't at the moment. But if he can pull off that win, this would stamp his legacy as the next star that the welterweight division has seen. And we've seen some all-time greats of this welterweight division come and go. I'm talking Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, several others that have came and gone from this classic and historic welterweight division. I think this is the biggest fight to be made at this welterweight division, and I want to see how this plays out. So those are my thoughts on Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. officially being announced next at the welterweight division.